Hello everyone. So today I am going to share a chapter from the novel I wrote. But before that, let me give you a short introduction. This story revolves around a very ordinary boy named Simon. His life is a mess. He was on the edge of giving up completely. But then suddenly something unexpected happens. On a lonely midnight, a guy Simon has secretly liked for so long suddenly appears in front of him, asking him to run away together. So let's start with the chapter 1. The story begins in a small town. It's midnight. Our main character Simon, a 19-year-old boy, is sitting alone on the rooftop of his house. He was staring down at the empty streets. Midnight, he mutters to himself. Once again, my birthday passed just like every other year alone. He wipes the tear off his face and whispers, every birthday just adds to this emptiness. It's eating me alive. And story goes back in time. A small boy is hiding under a chair, and it was Simon, watching helplessly as his alcoholic father beats his mom, and he couldn't do anything about it. But one day, after the years of domestic violence, Simon's mother takes him and his younger sister Misa and run away to her brother's house. They had barely spent a week there when they received the news Simon's father had committed suicide. Just when Simon thought life might finally get better, his uncle too began abusing him. His grandfather tried to take custody, and witnessing the rising violence, Simon's mother decided to move to her father in law's home. Now, Simon and his family lived with his uncle and aunt. Like every house, this one too had its own share of tensions. His mother and aunt fought constantly. Simon and Misa grew up in a toxic, mentally damaging environment. Even Simon's high school life was far from peaceful until he joined the college and he hoped things would change. And story comes back to present. Simon sits on the same rooftop, the moonlight casting a soft glow around him. He had spent his birthday alone again, just him and the moon. Suddenly he notices a figure down below, a person in a black hoodie and a face mask trying to peek into his house through the window. It must be a thief, Simon thinks, and immediately rushes downstairs. But as he reaches closer, a faint light from a window catches the stranger's eyes and the Simon freezes. Simon says, wait, those eyes, that's Senior J. Simon rushes to the front door. Senior J, is that you? Senior, is that really you? That hoodie guy doesn't respond. Instead, he turned around and started walking away. But Simon isn't one to give up easily. He quickly unlocks the door and follows him. The boy walks into a narrow, dark alley behind the house, but it was completely silent. He stops near a wall, and Simon finally catches up, standing right in front of him. There's an intense stillness between them. Jay keeps avoiding eye contact while Simon stares straight into his eyes. Neither of them says anything. Their eyes met for a brief second and they both look away. After a long silence, Jay finally speaks. Hello? Simon stays quiet, but Jay slowly raises his eyes again, and this time he looks directly at him. Simon's eyes are filled with pain, love, sadness, confusion, so many emotions all at once. Jay can't look away. You know, Jay says softly, the first time I saw you, your eyes told me everything. You never said a word to me, but I could read them like an open book, whether I wanted or not. I always understood what you felt. Every time I looked into your eyes and I just knew. I knew what you felt. Simon's heart is racing. He hesitates before speaking, but finally speaks. And yet, even after understanding everything, you never said anything. You knew, you have always known how I feel about you, but you never said a word to me, not even once. But fine, if it helps, I'll say that today. Yes, Senior J, you were right. I like you. I have always liked you. I liked you so much that sometimes I even forget to breathe when I see you. And you know what? It hurts. It actually hurts. But before he could finish, Jay stops him. No, please don't. I don't want to. I don't have the courage to hear the rest. I don't want you to say those words. And he turns away, avoiding Simon's gaze. Then, almost in a whisper, he asks, did you ever think how I feel? You know that you like me, but what about me? Have you ever thought what I want? Simon's heart sank. Tears streamed down his face. The moment he had always feared was happening. Jay didn't want to hear what he had to say. The love of his life was not even ready to hear his confession. Simon closes his eyes, ready to turn away and run, but then a hand reaches out. It is Jay. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Jay says, seeing you like this, it kills me. Every breath hurts. I can't bear this pain anymore. Then he says something Simon never expected. Simon Hart, come with me. Please, just this once, come with me. Simon stares at him, shocked. His heart couldn't even believe what was happening. What? What do you mean? He asked in disbelief. I just needed to hear those words from you. Jay says, now that I have, nothing can stop me. He takes a deep breath and looks straight into the Simon's eyes, voice softer than ever. Do you trust me? If you, then come with me. No question, no doubts, just come with me. Simon couldn't believe what he had just heard. He stood there, stunned, as if time had stopped for a moment. The senior, the love of his life, the very boy he had secretly longed for, had just asked him to come along in the middle of night. Was this really happening? Was this a dream? But without saying a word, Simon gently placed his hands on the Jay's, as if silently agreeing to go with him. But then, out of nowhere, Simon suddenly pulled his hand back and says, wait, just 1 second, he says quickly, and before Jay could respond, Simon turned around and ran off. Jay stood frozen. What had just happened? Simon just left me alone? For a moment, Simon had held his hand like he was ready to leave everything behind, and the next second he had vanished without a word. Jay was left standing there, confused and speechless. But after a few moments, Simon came running back, breathing heavily. He said, I left my phone and the slippers at home so people would think I have been kidnapped, and anyway there is no security cameras in this area. Jay stared at him in a disbelief, but a small smile tugged at his lips. Without saying anything, he immediately took off his own slippers and handed them to Simon. A little while later, two of them reached a nearby station. Jay bought the tickets and two of them boarded together. Simon was still dazed, everything around him feeling like a surreal dream. As the train moved ahead, his eyelids started to feel heavy. He looked at Jay, leaned his head softly against his shoulder, and whispered, this can be real, but if it's a dream, then I don't want to wake up ever again. And the first chapter ends here. It's past midnight. The train moves steadily into the unknown. Who have just accepted each other are now running away together. But what happened to little Simon that made him willing to leave everything behind in the middle of night? What had his family done to him that made him choose a stranger over his own home? To be continued. And this is obviously my first video, so yeah, this is the best I could do. So guys, if you like the first chapter of my original novel, please make sure to like, share and subscribe so I could explain the next chapter. So I really need your feedback to write this story, so don't forget to comment. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.